Hello everyone, this is Indu. I hope you are doing well. In today's video, we will cover how to create a CRUD operation with the help of dependency injection, command and query, pattern or architecture, and repository pattern. So let's start. Firstly, click on create a new project, and here you can choose ASP.NET Core Web API and click on the next button. And here you can give any name. So I can give a CRUD operation with repo and click on the next. Here we are using this .NET 8.0 version and its latest version is 9 9.0, but we can use only this. For now we are using .NET 8.0 and click on the create button. And our second step is we need to install three packages, that is anti-framework core, tools and SQL. First one, this one, Microsoft Anti Framework Core. Click on here and select the project and choose the version. This is the stable version I am choosing and click on the install. Accept. Second one is SQL Server. Here same version we can choose here. And third one is tools. Tools we install because we also here we can use a code first approach and we need to add the migrations. So we can install these three packages. So you can see here we can install these three packages. These three package, it's our step one. Second step is we need to add here connection string. Yes, here we need to add a connection string. Here you can give your server name. DB connection. This connection you can save in your register in your program.cs file. Here first one is the server is equal. This name you can get from here. This one server name is localhost and you can copy this name, and sorry, you can paste this name here. And next step is you can database name, you can give any name. For example, I am giving db CRUD operation. So this CRUD operation, and next one is a to make a trusted connection. So you can write trust server certificate is equal to, and next one is integrated security is equal to true for security. Anti integrated SE is equal to. So like that way we can add our connection string here. And our next step is we make a application DB context where we can add our all the tables and inject our anti framework core. Here we can take a class application DbContext.cs and click on the add button. And here we can insert DV context that we get with the help of anti-framework core. So you can see here giving error. So we need to import this namespace, and this is a using Microsoft.anti-framework core. And next one is we can make a constructor public application DV DV context option, and here I can register this. Next one is we can make any table. For example, for now I am making this video simple, so I am taking a class name project, so in which I can take only two field, public int id, sorry, public int id, get set, and name, only two field. And we need to write here because it will make a this is our simple class we can make here in C sharp, but in database, to add in the database, we need to write here in a public dv set, and here you can write your class name, that is the project. And after that you can give this name will be created in your database, like in mm, your database table name is products projects. So like that way every table you can add here, you like add here in the dv set. This is our third step. Fourth step is we need to write here our connection string, that we can write here this one, and application dv context with the help of SQL server. So you need to write builder dot services dot add dv context, and here you can inject your appli application dv context and options, and here you can write option dot use SQL server, and after that you can write here sorry, builder builder dot configuration dot get connection, and here you can builder dot configuration, sorry, it means we can get this value, you can see here this one value, this one we can copy from here and we can paste here in the commas. So here we can register our application DB context and write the connection here. So everything that we can write there is here in the app setting.json file. We can save our connection related configuration related files here, and this is our next step. Our next step is we need to add the migrations. So go to tools and package manager console, and here we can write add migration in it log. and then update data wave. So that will be created. Now it's created in our database with this database name DB CRUD operation. DB CRUD operation. So you can see here it already created, and one table we can create, that is a project. So you can see here same name that we can give here in the DB set, that we can get here, this one. And so you can see here we can get that table. And to inject the dependency injection or repository pattern, so we need to add interface, because we can achieve a dependency injection with the help of interface, because we can inject this interface in the controller rather than writing all the code in the same controller. So go to here, make a new folder, add folder, services, and inside this iServices, sorry, inside this we can add a new folder for interface, that is iServices, and here we can add our interface, add class interface, that name is iProduct service, product service. Okay, so we can make this interface, and here we can write first all the method right here, and here we can follow the repository pattern. And this is interface is used to achieve the abstraction, because we can hide the internal details or internal method that we can write in the service where we can inject this service. Get all. Second one is product project get by id. Third one is for add, and next one is delete. We can delete with the help of id. So here interface, in a interface we only give the definition of the method, not implementation. This method we can implement in the service, and this will help to achieve abstraction. And here we can important question: what is enumerable? What is enumerable? So when we want to fetch all data from the database, that time we can use a enumerable, because it will first get the data, after that it will filter the data. But for this case we want to fetch all the data. But second one is, this is an important question in interview: what is the difference between enumerable and iQueryable? So in a iQueryable, um, in which we can fetch the filter data. Like if you want only 10 record, so you can get only 10 record with the help of iQueryable. But in iEnumerable, you can get all the table, like 100, 1000 records, and after that you can fetch the data. But in this case we want all the get all, like all the records in the database. That's why we can use a iEnumerable. And our next step is to make the service. So here we can write project service.cs, and here we can write, firstly we can insert the interface, insert the I product. Mistakenly I write here what we take project. So and here I can write the product, sorry, name project. Yes. Okay. Now we can insert I project service, I project service, and firstly we add the namespace and import the name interface. You can implement the interface. You can see here. So we can insert here. After that, we can write all the connection database work we can do here, and here we can achieve a encapsulation, adding the data method together in a single unit. Achieve abstraction, private read only, application, database related, all the work we can do here. Application, and here we can make the constructor is a special member function which is automatically called when we create the object of the class. And first one is we can make for the get all, return context dot project dot to list, and in which we can get all the list like all the records in the database. And get by id, next one is get by id. Here we can find that id with the help of id in the database. Here we can write first or default, first and default x is equal, and return if that we can found that record, then return that project. And okay, next one is we can do for add, this one add. So here firstly we can add that project with the help of request to id and context dot save changes and save in the database. Next one is update by id, update. So firstly we can find the that record and then update. So variable existing is equal context of first or default, and x is equal to x dot id is equal to product dot id. And then we can check if existing record not equal to null, then we can update this existing dot name with new name that we can pass here. Name is equal to that we can get here, and after that we can save the changes, context dot save changes, and like that way we can update the record. And last one is to delete. Here we can delete the record. Variable project is equal context dot first dot default we can find that record, and we can write also like that way with the help of find keyword. So here you just pass this id here, id, and like that way you also find the record. And if product not equal null, then we can remove that product. We can remove that product context dot remove, and sorry, contact dot project dot remove, and here we can pass the project, and context dot save changes, test dot save changes, and like that way we can make the service. And now we can you make the controller, and here we can inject the interface. So here we can achieve the dependency injection, and we can do a command and query pattern we can follow, and repository pattern. So private read only. Here we can inject our interface, that is iProject service, project service. And here we can make the constructor public action result public, and this is our controller name, and we can make the constructor here like this. So here firstly we can inject our service, and here we can achieve here we can achieve dependency injection, or a inversion. So here we can inject the service here rather than directly inject all the application this work. So we can make a different layer. Now it why we use the dependency injection, because it provides a loose coupling. Now all subclasses are work independently, not dependent to each other. So this is the benefit of a dependency injection, and it provide we can easily test our code, we can easily debug our code. So this is very important question in every .NET interview, why we use the dependency injection. And after that we can write here http method for getting any value. So we can use a http get for get any value from the database, and http put for update, post for get, post for add new record in the database, and delete for deleting any record. For now I am getting all the records for, so you can see here I can write here get all. And next tip is we can write here public access specify. We can use I action result, it returns the value, like return okay if result found, return not found if that record is not found in the database, return a bad request if we don't pass the proper request body from the swagger. Get all, and here we can write variable products get all, and a return okay. This return okay we can get from I action result. This is the interface, and you can see here when we go to implementation this method we can go here in the service. So here we also achieve the abstraction. We can hiding the details that we can write here, because you can see here we can inject only the interface. We just calling the methods, and here we can pass the products. And next one is GetById. So http again get, and here we can write here GetById and slash, and here we can pass our id, commas, we need to write this inside the commas, control x, and here we can pass id, and here we can write public action result get by id, and here we also use a command and query pattern or architecture, you can say. And you can see here we can give the command get all, and its query means data related all the work we can do here in the service. So this is same like it's also called a command and query pattern or architecture. So you can see here we can follow these all the architectures. Yeah. So our next step is we need to get my ID. By ID, firstly we can get that product with the help of ID. Project variable project is equal to project service get by ID, and if product, if project not found, then we can write here return not found, return not found. And you can give any error message here like that project not found in the commas, not found like that way. And we can, if we can get, then we can return okay, and we can pass that project. And the next one is add. For adding, so we can use the http method http post, this one we can use. And here you can add public I action result, add from body, if product equal to null, because if we can't pass anything from the request body, then it will return a bad request. And if we can found that record, so we can add project.service.add, and then we can return okay, and we can pass this. We can give any message like project is added, project added successfully. And if project not found, okay, we can write here if project not found, that return a bad request. And you can write here invalid for project body, invalid project body or data. And the next one is our update. For updating, we can use the HTTP HTTP put, and here same we can pass the ID. Firstly, we can write method name, and here we can pass the ID and public action result update, and here also we can pass the ID and ID comma. This ID we can get from the query, and our URL we like that API slash project slash update slash that ID. For example, we can give a second ID. So firstly we will check if product not found not is equal to null, then return not found, return a bad request like invalid data, bad request, request this message. Okay, and if we get the existing record, if we get the existing record, then existing is equal to product service dot update, that we can make in the service, and here we can pass the product project, and after that we can return OK, then we can return OK and pass this project. And our next one is, and the last is delete. So we can also delete by ID HTTP delete. This method we can use here, and we also pass here ID public action result delete, and here we can firstly check the existing record, like here existing is equal to get by ID. If we get that record, and if not found that record, then return not found, not found. And if we get that record and then delete that record, product service dot delete, and pass this ID and return OK, and give any error message here inside, like product project deleted fully, like that way. So like that way we can achieve a dependency injection, command and query injection. Okay, so here what we can achieve, we use the dependency injection, we use the repository pattern, repo pattern, and command and query, command and query pattern. So now we can run this application and check how it's work. So this is the dependency injection. Like we can not writing all the code here, we can call from the outside. For example, you can see here we can make the interface and service, and it helps to we can easily extend our method, easily test. Like if you want a new record here, so this is we can easily extend, and here we can follow solid principle. Like every class, first one is a single responsibility principle. So every class have a single responsibility and single reason to change. Open close principle means interface is open for extension. Like if you want a new record here, so you easily record like get by name you can add here, or you don't change the previous one. That is the second principle, open close principle. It means a class should be open for extension but closed for modification. And the next one is the dependency inversion. So you can see here we can make this uh, interface only for the product service. Like if we have another class like a student, so we can make a different interface for the student class. So that's why we can do here interface segregation. And dependency injection, we can here dependency injection means writing, not writing all the code in the same class, you can call from the outside. So you can see here we can inject here our I project service, and with the help of this we can call the methods. We can make the constructor and register the interface here. And it's also here we can follow the command and query pattern. So you can see here we can give the command and the query we can write in the service. So I can show you with the help of, I can add a breakpoint for the better understanding. So firstly we can check add, we can add new record in the database. So ID is auto generated and primary key, so we don't write to anything here. So here I write the name Ram, and you can see here this is giving error because we need to register our service here in the program.cs file. Here we need to register our service, that is like that way. Builder dot services dot add scope, this is the type of dependency injection. And here we can inject our service project service comma project service. So like that way we can need to register our dependency injection or our interface service here. So every service we need to register in the add scope. So it will create the instance per HTTP request. There are three types of dependency injection, and it's a pre-built dependency injection that is provided in the .NET framework. We don't need to install this. So I can give here name Ram, and you can see here it will get the in the breakpoint, and in the request body we can get the name. ID is a 0 because ID is auto generated, we don't need to write here, it automatically created. So it will check project equal to null. If it's not any value, so it will throw this return like return bad request, but now we have a value, so it will add. And you can go to implementation here, add the breakpoint, it will go here. So this is also called a command and query line, command and query pattern. You can give command here and your query is written here, and add that and save changes. It's added in the memory when you click in the save changes. And you can see here now I can't get any record in the database. Okay, when we click on the save changes and when we go down, now you get the record here. Now you can check in the database, you get the first record Ram. So like that way it will work. Second one is a get all. I can add one more. Next one is a get all. It will show all the records like now we have two records only. So you can see here we have two records. So it will show here two records. So it will again it will go in the service get all and then get the this list and get by id you can pass, and this is it's a url. For example, you can see here API project get all, and here we can pass the id like I want to get only one first record. So you can write here first, and you can see here we invalid id. So it's a giving error invalid id. So we need to check here why it's giving error. So we can write here, I think we can add it space. So it's giving error. Let me check firstly. I can run again. Dismiss. So here we can get that ID and it will check in the data in the service like this ID will found. So it will get the ID and return okay. So you can see here we can get by ID and put if you want to update that record. So I will pass here id1 and to ram2 ram. So you can see here we can get that id raman, and here we can get the id, and if that product found, and then we can update that record. So you can see here now this record is updated here in the database and here also. And our last one is deleted by id. So same like that we can pass here id1, and here we also give same error. At the back I can add the breakpoint and then recheck. So you can see here we can get the id, and we can get that existing record Raman, and it's not null, and then it will delete this record, and that record will delete from here. You can see here now two records. Check from here what we can do. If project is equal to null, okay, we can remove do here wrongly. If project not equal null, if project not equal to null, then remove and save changes. Now it will be work. So you can see here we can pass id1 and will check that record. It will get that record, Raman, and F. It will go this here in the service, and here we it found the red record and not equal null. Then remove that and save changes. Now it's removed from the database. So like that way it will work. Okay.